What do you do when people intentionally try to hurt you? What do you do when people tell lies about you with the aim of destroying your reputation? What do you do when people cheat you and they steal from you? Beloved, what do you do in such times? It will be okay when you retaliate and also cheat from them and also tell lies about them. But if you decide not to cheat them, not to return evil for the evil that they have done to you, beloved, God will take on your case and God will defend you. Not only will God reward you for not retaliating and not being evil to them as they have been to you, but God will compensate you for every wrong that they have done to you. God says it in Romans chapter 12 verse 19 that do not take revenge, because vengeance is his and he will revenge on your behalf. And so when people wrong you and when people intentionally hurt you, leave them with God and let God avenge your cause. Do not think evil thoughts about such people and do not plan evil things to happen to them. Leave them totally for God to deal with them. When Jacob deceived his brother Esau and took his birthright and his blessing, Jacob's father Isaac told Esau that his blessing has finished because his brother has taken them all. But beloved, God was faithful and he blessed Esau too, because the Bible lets us know in Genesis chapter 33 that 20 years after this incident, when Jacob met Esau and Jacob was going to gift Esau gifts, Esau told Jacob that Jacob should keep his gift because God has blessed him exceedingly. So beloved, God remembered Esau even though he was careless and gave his birthright out. So what this means is that when people cheat you, they deceive you and they take from you wrongfully, God will always compensate you and reward you. And we know from Genesis chapter 31 that when Jacob's own father-in-law and his own uncle Laban deceived Jacob so many times, and when Jacob had worked for him 20 years and he did not pay Jacob fairly, the Bible lets us know that God transferred all the wealth of Laban to Jacob. So beloved, this is what God will do for you if you do not retaliate. When people cheat you and you let it go and you give them to God and say that I will not do you wrong, I leave you totally to God for God to deal with you. Beloved, God will be pleased and take on the case and he will defend you. When God defends you, he will not only reward you for your obedience to his word, but he will also compensate you for the wrong thing that was done to you. It is normal to feel sad, hurt, and disappointed when people hurt you or when they intentionally harm you. But beloved, to completely lose your joy and your peace when you are wrong means that you do not trust God that he will defend you. If you feel helpless and so weak and so sad and so broken when you are hurt, it means that you do not understand the principle in the Bible that God will avenge those who are wrong. If you know that God will pay back to people who wrong you more than they did to you, beloved, you will always hold your peace. You will always be confident that God will defend you and just your cause rightly. In fact, if you know this truth, then when people wrong you, you will actually feel sorry for them because you know that God will deal with them and they will pay dearly for what they have done to you. The Bible says it in Proverbs chapter 28 verse 1 that the righteous are bold as a lion, but the wicked or the evil people run when no one is chasing them. When Jacob sinned against his brother Esau and took his blessing and his inheritance from him, Jacob lived fearfully throughout his life. He always thought that his brother Esau was after him to kill him, and so he was always afraid. So beloved, this is what happens to those who hurt you. The Bible says that they will be running even when there is nobody after them. But you who do not hurt people, who have good intentions about people, oh, you will be so bold as a lion. You will not be afraid because you know that you have not wronged anyone. So if you always have hope and faith in God and trust that God will always defend you when people wrong you, beloved, you will not be worried when people wrong you, because you know that just as God gave all the wealth of Laban to Jacob, when Laban deceived Jacob and did not pay him right, God will also give all the wealth of those people who cheat you and steal from you. This will make you so confident and so hopeful, and you will not lose your joy and be so worried, because you know that God will defend you. When he defends you, he will not only reward you for the things that has been stolen from you, but he will also compensate you for the troubles and the pains and the hardship that you have gone through. And beloved, sometimes you don't even get a miracle from God until someone hurts you. Yes, sometimes somebody has to hurt you for God to even give you a miracle. So when people hurt you, just thank God for it. Even though you might be hurt and you might be disappointed, just thank God, because God is going to look at that hurt and use it to bless you. God is going to transfer all the wealth, the blessing of those people who hurt you, and he will give it to you. So do not always lose your hope. Do not always be so sad and so miserable when people mistreat you. Know that God will compensate you. He will not only reward you for going through the pain, but he will also give you the blessings that belong to those people who hurt you.